Greetings, Pokemon fans. Welcome to Pokedex Runner. My name is JD, and this is the first video on this channel, which means you today get a little bit of a treat. You get an explanation of what the channel is going to do, and you also get an explanation of what the rules of our playthrough are. So, what we're doing with this channel is we're going to play through Pokemon, first generation, second generation, third generation, maybe even further than that. We'll see. That's going to be a ways down the road. We're going to play through the Pokedex in order, so that we can see how good every Pokemon is in a solo playthrough of Pokemon, and in Generation 1 will be Pokemon Blue. The reason why I'm doing it that way is because, one, it prevents me from skipping over Pokemon I don't want to play as. Some Pokemon aren't as exciting as others, and that's just the way things are. Some superheroes are awesome, some are boring, and that's just the way things are. That's one part of it, and yeah, I'm going to skip over. I would want to skip over some Pokemon. For example, Ditto is going to be atrociously bad. Gyarados, as much as Gyarados is cool, Magikarp is not. But we're going to play through in order so that I can't do that. I'm obligated to follow the path of the Pokédex. And what it does for you as the consumer and the watcher and the subscriber of the channel is you know what Pokemon is next. When we go through Generation 2, I will start with the new Pokemon, not the start of the real Pokédex. I'll circle back through once I beat the new Pokemon. And obviously Generation 3 has its own Pokédex, so I'll start from there. But that's what we're doing. And in Generation 1, we're playing Pokemon Blue. That's the one I played when I was a kid. We may do a little bit of Yellow in the future for some special videos, but Pokemon Blue is what I prefer. And I like Pokemon Blue. And in Generation 2, we're going to play Crystal. I actually played Silver as a kid, but Crystal was much better on a playthrough than Pokemon Silver. So we're going to play through as Crystal, and then Emerald, and probably Leaf Green. But Fire Red or Leaf Green is going to be Generation 3 along with Emerald. But that's what we're doing with the channel. Can't skip over Pokemon, like I said. And by the time we're done with the Pokédex, we will know which Pokemon is the best. We'll know which one's the best of every typing. We'll know who's going to be the worst of every typing, who is annoying, who is fun, who could be really benefited by maybe an upgraded moveset, which would lead to maybe some future videos that we'll look at down the road. And then the other thing I want to go over with you is the rules for the playthrough. So this is the only time I'll explain the rules. All the other times they will be in the description down below. And I will reference them by saying the rules in the description down below. The first rule is we can only use the featured Pokemon in battle. For example, today we are playing with Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur. And we can only use that Pokemon in battle. We can use other Pokemon for HMs or to catch Pokemon for HMs, but we cannot further the plot of the game by using other Pokemon in battle. Number 2, the running clock with a few exceptions. Apparently, I can find a way to disable Lieutenant Surge's button issue in Generation 1, where I would just pause the timer going there until I find the button, start it back up when we go to face Lieutenant Surge. However, apparently I can disable that, so I'm going to try to do that as much as I can, but we'll find out in this video whether I've figured out how to do it or not. But if we are able to do that, we don't have to pause the timer there. But there are a few examples when I will pause this timer. One of those examples is when we get out of Rock Tunnel and we go into Lavender Town. We will pause the timer then. From that moment on, we really have a slew of what I call errands to run in this game. So we're going to pause the timer for that, and we're going to go ahead and run those errands. There's really not any battles in this. There's just running errands, getting Psychic, getting Fly, getting some other things done as well, buying an Eevee, evolving into Vaporeon to have a water Pokemon. So a couple things will happen then that I'll pause the timer for. The only other time the timer will be paused is it will be paused for Victory Road. The reason why that is because there's ample time where I've been in Victory Road and I've accidentally hit Dig rather than Strength, and it's kicked me out. So to eliminate the human error, I'm just going to pause the timer after our rival fight before Victory Road, and I'll start it back up when we go to fight the Elite Four. That's just in all fairness. Every Pokemon will get the same pause and same you-know-what, so it's not an advantage for anyone. If the rules are the same across the board, no one has an advantage there. No items are used in battle other than Ethers. And the reason why Ethers is, again, the human error. Sometimes I forget to go heal, and that shouldn't penalize the Pokemon. So Ethers are allowed, as long as we don't have another option for moves. No glitches or exploits are allowed other than the Badge Boost glitch. Here is the quick explanation of the Badge Boost. Every odd numbered gym you get in the game gives you a boost in a stat. Brock's gym will give you a boost in attack. Lieutenant Surge's gym will give you a boost in defense. Koga's give you a boost in speed, and Blaine's gym will give you a boost in special. So they modify your stats 12.5% whenever you're in a battle. However, when you do the Badge Boost glitch, it does that boost again, 12.5% every time it's done. Someone can leer you, it modifies all your stats by 12.5%, even though it's lowering one of your stats. So that is the rule I have with that. We can also we can use the Badge Boost glitch. That's okay, because if someone leers us, we can't undo that and restart it. That'd be very time consuming, and it goes against the spirit of the playthrough. We also cannot use other glitches though, like the Masingo glitch, the Pokédoll glitch. There's technically a Mew glitch, but we can't use that either. There's no point in doing it, but we can't do it anyway. So that's a rule. And then the last rule I wanted to go over is you must like, share, and subscribe if you've made it this far. Now, you don't have to, but it's really nice if you did. It helps the channel get going, get up and running, get people watching. I also want to mention a couple other things. So I think I'm going to do this, and I'm kind of deciding while we're having this conversation, but I can code in some Pokemon. I can just sit in the computer and I can grab them and really can just code in my HM users. So I don't have to worry about catching the HM users. I don't have to worry about throwing a Pokeball at them. Nothing. It's just automatically in the game, and it's ready for me to just grab them out of the computer and go. And I know exactly where I would do it. I do it right before Mountain Moon. Some of them I can't use them or anything. It's just I don't have to worry about catching them. So I think I may do that. Not 100% sure, but I think I'm going to. I think it's going to be a lot less time consuming to try to catch a Pidgey or something like that, or generate another example where we want to stop the time. So with that being said, those are the rules. And now we're going to dive into the Pokemon today. So today we are playing through with Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur. So there's some inherent disadvantages that this Pokemon has in the game, which I'll extrapolate a little more in the actual playthrough of the game. But the first thing I want to go over is their stats. So Bulbasaur, not the greatest Pokemon ever. It's definitely not the best starter in this generation, and I will argue this till I'm blue in the face. There are definitely people out there that will argue that. However, this Pokemon is Bulbasaur. It is known as a seed Pokemon. It is grass and poison type. It has a medium and slow growth rate, which is pretty solid. It evolves at level 16 into Ivysaur, and at level 32 evolves into Venusaur. The stats of this Pokemon are as follows. Let me jump to the next screen so I can show you. First, its HP is 45, attack is 49, defense is 49, special, there's only special in Generation 1, is 65, and speed is 45. So, not the greatest stats, honestly. It could be a lot better. It also could be a lot worse. Okay, but like I said, at level 16, we will evolve into Ivysaur. Ivysaur, the stats do improve. There's some good things about this Pokemon. I'm not going to sit here and say there's anything bad about the Pokemon per se, other than its typing, and I'll go over that here in a minute. HP is 60, attack is 62, defense is 63, special is 80, and speed is 60. Pretty solid. It's getting a little bit better. And then the final stage of this Pokemon is Venusaur, and Venusaur will come out with a stat total of HP is 80, attack is 82, defense is 83, special attack is 100, and speed is 80. And that is the total for this Pokemon. So it's a grand total of 425. And not bad. Like, the stats aren't horrible for any of the starters. The problem is its typing and also its moveset. So let me just pull up the moveset really quick. Let's get the stats out of there and pull up the moveset. So here is its level up moveset. So we have some good moves. We start off with Tackle and Growl. And Tackle and Growl is not exactly the best moveset I can sit here and say. It's definitely not. But we do get a move eventually that gives us a little bit of a help. It's not great. So here's why this one's not good. And you're going to see in the next video, which is Charmander, and the one after that, which is Squirtle, that Bulbasaur does not start off with a great moveset. Its first stab move, the other two Pokemon get at level 8 and level 9, Bubble and Ember. This Pokemon does not get Vine Whip until level 13. And the problem with Vine Whip is it's also only 10 power points. So we have to go heal it. We have to go heal a lot to replenish our power points. Okay, so we have Leech Seed that'll help us. And then here's the other problem early in the game that we're going to deal with when it comes to this Pokemon. This Pokemon is going to have the problem of typing. Early in the game of Pokemon, there is a lot of Bug type, there is a lot of Flying type. And we are Grass Poison, and we are not going to have any advantage at all against those Pokemon. We're not going to have a problem at all against against Brock and against Misty. The landmark fights we don't have a lot of problems with. If you don't know what a landmark fight, it's a fight that you have to, it's the big fights that progress the game. Get your badges, your rival fights, Giovanni, Elite Four, etc. So those are our landmark fights, and he's not going to have a problem against those. It's the in-between battles. Once we beat Brock, we're going to have problems. I guarantee we're going to have problems on the route to Mount Moon, because there's Pokemon there that are going to resist what we have. Vine Whip only has 10 power points, and again, a lot of bugs, a lot of flying type Pokemon. Vine Whip's not very effective, so we got to fall back to our measly 35 base power tackle. And maybe even Leech Seed might help us out a little bit. We'll probably have to add Bide from Brock, so that's a problem as well. So eventually we will get better moves. At level 27 we do get Razor Leaf, which is a much more powerful move than Vine Whip. It critically hits a lot. It is a little less accurate, 95, but it's good because it's okay, because it hits like a tank. We get Growth, Sleep Powder, and Solar Beam. So we don't get a damaging move from level 13 all the way to level 27. We do get Sleep Powder if that's useful. Growth will actually let us do the Badge Boost glitch. and Solar Beam. It's not very useful in this generation because you don't have Sunny Day, so it takes 2 turns to attack. But let's go ahead and look at the TM moveset for this Pokemon, and it is very shallow. We get access to Swords Dance, which is good. Gives us another way to badge boost. I honestly think that's a little bit better than the other way because our attack stat, we're going to have to use some physical moves against some Pokemon. Toxic, we will not use Body Slam. Really, Body Slam and Rage Relief, when we get those moves, that's when this Pokemon will really start picking up pace. But until then, we're grinding it out with some very mediocre moves at best. Takedown and Double Edge can be used, but I think Body Slam is just a better physical move. Those 2 moves do recoil, and one's very inaccurate, so I don't like that move. Rage, we're not going to use. Mega Drain and Solar Beam. Mega Drain might be used with this Pokemon. It's going to have like a combination of a few things. Mimic, not going to use. A Double Team, not going to use. I'm sorry, Mimic will be used. It will be used definitely against Elite Four. We're going to need it against Elite Four. No questions asked on that. Double Team. Reflect, probably not going to use Bide. Bide will have to be used. We're going to use that to help us get through some early parts of the game where we have a shallow move pool. And then Rest potentially could be used, but I doubt it. Substitute and Cut, those won't be used. So, that's not a very broad moveset for this Pokemon. And we're going to have to get through the whole game. And like I said, there's a lot of people out there that have never played through the solo playthrough of Pokemon. I've done this a few times in my life. And I know for a fact that Bulbasaur is by far the worst because it does not do well against the in-between battles. And its moveset. So for example, I'll use Charmander and Squirtle for example. Both Charmander and Squirtle can learn Mega Punch. Both of them get Ember or Bubble Beam before level 10. Okay, and in fact, Squirtle gets Water Gun. You can get Water Gun before level, I think it's in the Mount Moon, but you can also get it before that. And then both of them can learn Dig as well. They can both learn Seismic Toss. Bulbasaur, because of its physiology, because it's on all fours, can't learn any punching moves. It doesn't learn Dig, even though it's a grass Pokemon. You think it would learn Dig, and it does learn Seismic Toss. So we really can't add anything to this moveset except for Body Slam, and you gotta go all the way to the SSN to do that. So that's just me knowing about Pokemon. It's not me doing anything prior to this. And I've played through before in the future, but this, like I said, this is a first attempt playthrough. We're gonna see how it goes. Let's go back to the main part, and I'll give a prediction. So I think this Pokemon, we're gonna try to get this done in under an hour and a half. Getting this done in under an hour and a half is a big deal for this Pokemon because grass types, this specific grass type does not fare well in the early game, and that's going to affect it. And it's got grass types in general have a very shallow move pool. But I think with a little bit of being smart and knowing the game, we can get it done in an hour and a half. So that's what we're striving for, is to get it done in an hour and a half. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And here you go with Bulbasaur.
As per tradition, we will start out in Professor Oak's laboratory. We've already gotten Bulbasaur. We actually named our Bulbasaur Boba Fett because I'm a big Star Wars fan. So just want to let you guys know that. Hope you're a big Star Wars fan too. If you haven't, you should check it out. Maybe not the new stuff, but we also named our rival Lycan Sub. So a little bit of things about this battle. It's really a battle of attrition. We have Tackle and Growl. He has Scratch and Growl. Scratch is actually more powerful. So we're using Growl to minimize how much damage he can do. And he's just doing moves at random because that's what the AI does in the first part of the game. A little bit of things about what's going on the screen. We have the Pokemon in the bottom right corner. We have who we're facing the bottom on the left side. And in the top left, we have the timer, which is at 4 times speed. So we're playing the game at 4 times speed. The timer is real time, how much time we're using on it. So the strategy early in this game is we need to get to a high level before we enter Bug Forest. And you will see why here in a little bit. We only have Tackle. We don't have another move at this moment. I think we might have Leech Seed. I think we get level 7 or something like that. But we want to level up to the point where we can go face our second rival battle. Now, in some Pokemon playthroughs, other YouTubers do not play through the second rival battle. They think it's Rival 1B. I actually require that in my playthroughs. I think it's mandatory to play through. I think it's there for a reason. So we have to play through. Even if it doesn't benefit the Pokemon to play through the battle, we're going to play through the battle regardless. So what we did was we used Leech Seed in this battle because Pidgey likes to go for Sand Attack. It's way overpowered in Generation 1. So Leech Seed helps us recruit back some damage, and will do damage regardless of whether we miss or not. So now we're on the Charmander. Now the good thing about Charmander is it does not get Ember to level 9, so we're not dealing with Ember. We did Leech Seed it, so we'll drain a little bit of health every turn regardless. Our Tackle isn't doing too much. Its Scratch is actually doing pretty decent. But it just, like I said, it randomized its moves, so it's not doing too much to us. We basically offset its damage by getting 1 back every turn. And when it does damage, it only did 3 right there, so we're offsetting that damage. And that's why we win this battle pretty handily. We are at level 12, so very decently high level. We're only 7 minutes and 40 seconds in, and you're going to see why we need to get to a high level to go through Bug Forest. Bug Forest has a lot of bug Pokemon. And look how much, we are 6 levels higher. We're twice this Pokemon's level, and it's taken us 3 tackles to get through this Pokemon. It is a very weak Pokemon, yet it's taken us 3 tackles to get through every single one of these. That's not even counting what the Kakunas and the Metapods are going to do. This is why we did not want to go in the Bug Forest early. We'd have been spending so much time using Tackle and having to go back and heal very often to replenish power points. And we'd had to backtrack and face Rival 2. So it really wasn't worth it. So that's why I decided, you know what, we're going to do it this way. So I'm using Leech Seed to recoup some health while we're here. It's not going to attack us. It's only going to use Harden. And obviously our attack isn't going to do too much because it's using Harden. But we're going to get a little bit of health back every time. And by the time we're done with this battle, we have a little bit more health to be able to go into the last bug we have to face. So we do level up there. We do get Vine Whip. Vine Whip is still kind of pointless against these Pokemon. It's not going to do much against a bug-type Pokemon. They're resistant to it. So Vine Whip right now is pointless, but it is useful for Brock's Gym, which is what we're about to come up here in a second after we face this final bug trainer in this forest. So this person's going to come out with a Weedle. We don't have to worry about getting poisoned. We are also grass poison. But like I said, it's a kind of a, not really a battle of attrition. We just don't do a lot of damage. So this looks like it's going to be a 4-hit unless we get a critical. And nope, we got a 3-hit out of it. That's good. So now we're going to go and face our the first gym, which is Brock. And when the first thing in the first gym is facing the Million Light Years trainer. And he comes out with a Diglett. And we don't one-shot it, which is a little surprising. But Diglett has an okay special, so it probably survived because of that. Whereas Sandshrew doesn't, but it still survived. These are only ground type, not ground rock, which is why they're not one-shotting. Brock's Pokemon, and I have a thing I do with Brock. He looks like he's doing the Wakanda Forever from Black Panther. Wakanda Forever and Vine Whip will one-shot both of his Pokemon. They are both rock and ground, so they're 4 times weak to grass moves. Get the knockout, very good. We beat Brock. He's going to give us the Boulder Badge, which we're going to pop up here in a second. There you go. And he's also going to give us Bide. Now, Bide is not the greatest TM to use in the world, but it does help us. We sped up the footage here so I can show a little bit of the fighting without taking too much time in this video. So as you're seeing, we're at level 16. We're 6 levels higher than these bug types, and Tackle is still only doing about a third of damage to each one. We did evolve into Ivysaur, which is pretty good. We get a nice boost in our stats. So Tackle might do a little bit more now, but not too much. Some of these battles here, I just use Bide, for example, right there, just to kind of conserve some power points. But we decided to use 2 potions. We're going to face this trainer. We need all the levels we can get right now. The good news is we're fighting that Pidgey there. Pidgey does not get a flying move for a while, so it does not really, put us at disadvantage to face Pidgeys early. And we're fighting all the trainers here. We need to get higher level. We have no level up moves between Vine Whip, well, attacking moves. We do get like Poison Powder and Sleep Powder and stuff. But we have no physical damaging move. We have no way to do damage from levels 13 to like level 30 now that we're Ivysaur. When I showed the stats in the beginning of the video, that was showing the stats for Bulbasaur and when we can level up or get our moves. That was with Bulbasaur, not with Ivysaur or not with Venusaur. So it is pushed back a smidge. However, we are fighting the battles here. In the battles here, there's a good reason for this. We have to be able to get to a higher level because we have to be able to make Tackle more viable. And the only way we do that is by getting our stats better. So we do face these bug trainers. Look how little we're doing here. And we're using Leech Seed, like I said, to supplement our health a little bit. And it's going to help us knock out things a little bit quicker. And we have this final trainer here against this last who has a Jigglypuff. We just don't get put to sleep, but we do get the knockout, get the win. And we move right on to Mount Moon. And in Mount Moon, we're going to go over a couple things. Not really a lot of battles I want to talk about, but I'll kind of talk about like the strategy of Mount Moon. Mount Moon is here so we can get to higher levels, but we also have to do it while not having to go out and heal. That's the goal here. It takes so much time to go out and heal and have to backtrack and go through the tunnel again. So that's what we don't want to do. Now, if you saw early in this, I clicked on a Max Repel. I coded Max Repels. Earlier I said in my prediction part, I try to limit the human factor by stopping the timer during certain things. Well, another way I eliminate a factor that can affect time is by having a Max Repel. Some Pokemon it would benefit to not have Max Repel on in this and just have wild encounters. For example, Bulbasaur would honestly benefit from having wild encounters because if we come across a wild Geodude, we have Vine Whip. It'll be a one-shot. It'll be very easy experience to get, very quick experience to get. However, Vine Whip only has 10 power points, and we don't want to waste it all on wild Pokemon when we can use it on some trainers and get way more experience yields out of them. So that's what we're doing right now. We're picking up some key items. An HP up can be sold for, it's a high value item, can be sold for money. Picked up an ether to replenish power points. Like I said, the experience yields in here are pretty decent compared to wild Pokemon. And we just want to be at a good level when we face Misty. But saving Vine Whips for a trainer battle, or like this one right here, that's what we save Vine Whips for. So these will be 3 one-shots. These are decent level Pokemon. Pretty much Brock 2.0. He has 3 Pokemon instead of 2. Around the same level. And we're going through here pretty fast. We're at 18 minutes and 50 seconds. That's not the fastest time we're going to have ever getting through Mount Moon. But it is a pretty fast time nonetheless. And the fact that we had to take almost 8 to 9, maybe 10 minutes to get by Brock, we're going at a pretty good pace. So we only have 9 power points left, and that's the really crazy part we were trying to avoid in this, was not running out of power points and having to backtrack. We still have some Vine Whips, but they're not doing any damage to the Pokemon we're dealing with. This is why this Pokemon struggles, is we have to rely on Tackle for so long, and Tackle's such a garbage move. But we get to Misty's gym. We're doing our Super Sim battles, and we're going to face Misty. She's going to come out with a Staryu. We have Vine Whip. It's not the most powerful grass move, but it is a very super effective move against her. She just went for X Defend. It will not do much for her when it comes to our special move. Vine Whip is a special move. If we were doing Tackle, it would definitely be beneficial. But Vine Whip will 3-shot, 2-shot 2 of her Pokemon, 3-shot, or 1 of her Pokemon, and 3-shot her ace, Sarmy. So we get the pretty easy win over her, and we're going to move right on to our rival. Now, our rival has 2 Pokemon that are very, very effective against us. Pidgeotto is going to come out, and it's not really effective in a sense that it has a flying move yet, but it's effective in a sense that we don't have anything good against it, and it can use Sand Attack, which ruins the rest of the battle. It can ruin the rest of the battle, I should say. Now, some people might just go for a reset as soon as they get Sand Attack. I've seen that with other YouTubers. We're not going to do that. The next Pokemon's Abra, who can't touch us. So we're going to Deceit it, and we're going to replenish back as much of our hit points as possible. And so it's going to draw out this battle a little bit more than I would like, but the strategy here is very simple. Every time we replenish, do some damage with Leech Seed, we get 2 health back, and that 39 hit points is good enough. So if we can hit Vine Whip on the Rattata, which we do, 1 shot, and then we can just hit Tackle on the Charmander twice. It does have Ember now. However, it just did the badge boost for us. When it does Leer, it boosts our attack stat as it lowers our defense stat, because we have Brock's badge gives us a boost in attack stat. So anytime our stats are modified, whether that's our speed slowed down, whether that's... I don't know why it doesn't modify and boost you when it comes to your accuracy. You think that would help. But our defense was lowered when he did Leer, so that boosts our attack stat. Now, we're facing this trainer. I usually don't show a lot of random trainers in the game, but this is one I consistently will show because she can be a problem. This is what I've nicknamed her Sandy, and she has 3 sand attacking Pidgeys. And they will all use Quick Attack, they will all use Sand Attack, they will lower your accuracy. It can be a very arduous battle, even though we have 12 levels on all of her Pokemon. And this battle comes down to the wire. Okay, it's a very tricky battle just because of the way it is, the relevance of it. So now we're going to have to heal up a little bit of potions. Yep, there's 1, there's 2, and probably 1 more. Yep, that should do. And, oh, we fully healed. Okay, so now we're going to face this trainer here. And this trainer here, I just like a little bit of the verbiage I can use. We're going to take the Spearow. We're going to take him down to 0. And the Raticate comes out, and we're going to eradicate the Raticate. So once we knock out the Raticate, very good, get the win. And now we're moving on to the SSM. We're going to have a big upgrade for this Pokemon. And this is where the Pokemon really starts to take off. This Pokemon really starts to take off right after we get this move, and this is Body Slam. Body Slam is an 85 base power move. It's normal, but it's 100% accurate, and it also can make the opposition paralyzed. So we still don't want to get rid of Tackle. It's good to have an extra damaging move that's not... We still don't have a lot of power points for Vine Whip. So we still want to hang on the Tackle just in case we need a little bit extra damage done. So we're going to go for Body Slam on the Pidgeotto. It's not going to be a one-shot, but here's an example where we just use Tackle rather than waste another Body Slam power point. Body Slam right there. A Body Slam on the Kadabra. Now Charmeleon comes out. We're going to go for Body Slam. Ember does a decent amount, but we 2-shot, and now we move right on to Lieutenant Surge. So what the strategy here is in this game is you want to actually not have to heal in this town. If you heal in this town, you run the risk of having to travel back by foot, whereas if you don't heal and you just beat Surge, you could actually dig back to Celedon? Cerulean City. So we face Surge now. He's pretty easy because we resist electric moves. Doesn't always mean we're going to win because some of the Pokemon have Sonic Boom, which still do damage to us. So we win and move on to Rock Tunnel. Now in Rock Tunnel, there's not a lot I like to showcase, but there is one specific battle I'm going to showcase because it can be tricky for some people. But for Venusaur, it's not very tricky at all. We evolved and we got Razor Leaf, so we're going to one-shot all of his Pokemon. We can do that with Vine Whip. It's not very difficult to beat this hiker. Some trainers, or some Pokemon I should say, will be very difficult with that hiker. So we get to Celedon City, and we're going to go and face Giovanni. Giovanni, 2 of his Pokemon are very simple because they're Rock type. So Razor Leaf will one-shot both of them. But it's his last Pokemon that's a little bit tricky, and that's Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan's a solid Pokemon. I don't know if you guys have ever played through with Kangaskhan. I have before, but Razor Leaf gets a crit, so we get a one-shot. It'll crit a lot, honestly. It's good to get that one-shot. We get the Self-Scope. And now we're going to go ahead and face Erica. Now in her gym, we're going to do the Super Sim thing I do right now. We actually do physically fight the battle. So if you look in the top left corner, when I do that, it does show the time lapse of the battle. Okay? But Erica comes out. We're going to go for Body Slam. We don't have anything great against her because she's also Grass type. But she also doesn't have anything great against us. She's going to prioritize using poison moves because it's going to see us as grass. It's really going to confuse her. And she's not going to really do much to us. See, Vileplume's going to go for Poison Powder, but we're also Poison type, so it won't do anything. We beat her very handily. We do get a TM that we're going to use a little bit later. We're not going to use it right now, but a little bit later will be very useful. And then we're going to face I think it's our 5th rival battle. And we're going to go for Body Slam on the Pidgeotto. It's a one-shot. Execute's going to come out. We're going to go for Body Slam. It's going to be a 2-shot. It does put us to sleep, but Barrage is garbage and will do no damage. And yeah, that's a garbage Pokemon right there. Body Slam. Now, it goes for Bite, doesn't do any damage to us. Body Slam on the Kadabra. We have one Pokemon left that's Charmeleon. Is Body Slam one-shot? It is a one-shot. We knock out our rival, and we move right along to, I believe we're going to go to Koga's gym. Yeah, Koga's a poison gym, so we don't have a disadvantage here. We're actually resistant to a lot of it. There we go, that Super Simulation again. So now we're going to go and face Koga. We did stop and get a move. You're going to see that move here in a minute. And let me know what you think about like dissolving in the gym leaders in the top left or have them sliding over. Let me know what you think. I did half and half in this video. We picked up Swords Dance. So Swords Dance is better for this Pokemon than Growth. Growth will up your special. This will up your physical attack stat by 2 stages. But it also does the badge boost, improving your special. So I think it's the better move of the two. So that's what I went with. So right now we can learn Growth. We're not going to because we're going to go with Swords Dance. Swords Dance, I believe, is the best stat modifying move in the game by far. You can only do it 3 times, but your physical stat goes up 3 times. Or 6 times. 6 stages, I should say. And the other thing about that is whenever you do the badge boost, if you level up, you keep the stat modifier. So even if we level up, we'll still have a high attack stat. So we're going to face our 6th rival battle. We're going to go ahead and go for Swords Dance a couple times. There we go. Wing Attack did decent damage to us, but we should be able to sweep right now. So Body Slam will one-shot the Execute. Very good. Gyarados will be a one-shot. Very good. Alakazam will come out. It'll definitely be a one-shot. We probably didn't need a badge boost to knock out Alakazam. And Charizard will come out, and that'll be a one-shot as well. Even though we leveled up, we still knocked it out. So very good. We beat our rival in Silphco. We're flying right along in this game. Now we're going to face Giovanni. Giovanni gets just as easy as he has been. We probably will do some badge boosts just to be safe, just to make sure nothing crazy happens. But we did 1 badge boost knockout, and we're gonna go for Body Slam. It's not quite a knockout. Kangaskhan's pretty bulky. That could have been scary. A critical hit in Generation 1. If you have a multi-hit move and the first one crits, they all crit. But Razor Leaf will knock out the Rhyhorn, and Nidoqueen will be knocked out in 2 shots by the Razor Leaf. So Giovanni has been pretty much a cakewalk so far. We've seen 2 up, 2 down on the Giovanni fights. And then we're going to move right on to Sabrina. Sabrina is the Psychic Gym Leader, and she is probably my favorite Gym Leader of this generation. Psychic Pokemon are very powerful, and she has a whip, which is awesome. But we're going to go ahead and go for Swords Dance. Psychic will do a little bit because we are part Poison. I don't know if I want to risk it, but I'm just going to go for Body Slam. Rather than risking maybe doing 1 more and she knocks us out. She did take us almost down to half health. So, we're right there. Body Slam on the Alakazam. Psychic Pokemon are very frail physical moves, so if you ever come across Psychic Pokemon or you're playing, make sure you have a good physical damaging move. So we're going to dig right out and go face Blaine. Blaine looks like a thin Robotnik. He can be played in a movie by Jim Carrey and look just like. But we're going to go ahead and go for Swords Dance. Growlithe won't do anything. It actually goes for... The reason why it goes for Agility is because it sees us as Poison. and it sees that Psychic is the best move against the poison move. So we're going to go for Body Slam after we set up our Swords Dances, and we're going to sweep this team pretty handily. We get a team we cannot use in Fire Blast, and I'm going to move right on to the next gym, which is Giovanni. We already went out and healed after we fought a bunch of trainers in here, so now we're going to face Giovanni, and this should be a very, 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 very quick sweep of this entire team. The Giovanni comes out, we're going to go ahead and go for Swords Dance, just to make sure we get it done. He goes for Guard Spec, he's sponsored by Guard Spec, so he'll always go for them even though it's worthless. So we hit one shot on the Razor Leaf on the Rhyhorn. Dugtrio comes out, we're going to go for Mega Drain. Nope, no we're not, we're going to go for Razor Leaf. Mega Drain would replenish our health, so that's what we saved it for, is we want to use it to replenish our health in some very key battles. Body Slam will one-shot the Nidoking. We have one Pokemon left. That would be Mega Drain, which will get us all the way through the battle with Giovanni. We beat Giovanni pretty handily. We barely took any damage. So now we should go on and face our 7th rival battle before we face the Elite Four. Now, the rival's going to come out, and he's going to come out with a Pidgeot as per tradition. Pidgeot we will use to set up on. He no longer has, we're actually going to try to put Sleep first, but it no longer has Sand Attack. So we don't have to worry about that. It will eventually get Sky Attack, which can be very scary. But we just did a full setup, so now we're going to go ahead and sweep this Pokemon. Rhyhorn comes out, we're going to replenish all of our health with Rhyhorn. We're at full health going into the rest of the battle. Body Slam on the Execute, one shot, very good. Gyarados, one shot with Body Slam, very good. Alakazam comes out, is it a one shot? It is a one shot. And the last Pokemon is Charizard. It's not a one shot because we got a critical hit. Critical hit skips over all stat buffs, but we do get a Body Slam the next turn. Even though we're burned, we still get the knockout. And we win, and we move right on to the Elite Four. And now that we're in the Elite Four, we're going to go over the stats of this Pokemon and its moveset really quick before we run in there and take on Lorelei. So first, the stats are Attack is 146, Defense is 141, Speed is 143, and Special is 167. Across the board, very solid stats. Now, you're looking at level 60. We did not grind to level 60. We had, I think we get 11 rare candies. We gave 8 of them to the Venusaur. And now the last 3 we will give to make sure we don't level up in battle to avoid losing our badge boost glitch. And then our moveset going into the Elite Four, we have Body Slam, Swords Dance, Sleep Powder, Mega Drain. We will modify and get rid of one of these eventually, so I'll go over that when it happens. Let's go ahead and go into this first battle with Lorelei, and she is the Ice-type trainer. She's going to come out with a Dugong. Dugong is Water Ice type, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to put the Dugong to sleep first. It doesn't seem to sleep very long, consistently wakes up. I guess it's because it's used to rest, it's used to waking up pretty fast. But we get a full setup on this Pokemon, and we get a one-shot with the Dugong, very good. We're going to use Mega Drain on the Cloyster, very good, it's a knockout. Slowbro comes out, and it's a 2-shot on the Slowbro, and we've yet to take any damage. We're at full health, we're at full maxed out on the badge boost. Body Slam knocks out the Jinx, and Body Slam knocks out the Lapras. So very good planning, and we beat Lorelei without any restrictions and problems at all. Now Bruno comes out. Now Bruno, we don't really talk about him very much. In Generation 1, he's not very good. He has 2 Onyxes, for God's sake, so that's how you know he's not very good. He's going to go for X Defend, which is stupid. There's not really anything he can do, let's be honest with it. But Mega Drain will one-shot the Onyx. And then the next 3 Pokemon, we still have our attack boosted, not our special. We're going to one-shot the Hitmonchan. Hitmonlee will be a one-shot with Body Slam. We're going to go ahead and use Mega Drain to knock out the Onyx. We didn't need to replenish our health, but we did nonetheless. And the last Pokemon is Machamp. It's pretty bulky, but with our badge boost and Body Slam, we get a one-shot. So we're at full health in the battle with Bruno. And we're just hanging on here for dramatic effect. And we're going to go right on and face Agatha. Now we're going to pause here, and we're going to go ahead and do little things with Agatha. First, we're going to add in a move called Mimic. Mimic will let us copy a move from the opposition, and we're going to get rid of Mega Drain. It's either Mega Drain or Body Slam. We still need Swords Dance, we still need Sleep Powder, but I thought I'd use that just to be safe. And we're going to use an Elixir to replenish all of our power points. And we are going to go ahead and face Agatha. Now, Agatha has what's called the Agatha Lotto. She can poison you, confuse you, put you to sleep, paralyze you. A lot of things she can do. What we're going to do first against Agatha is we're going to go for Swords Dance. We stupidly went for Swords Dance rather than Sleep Powder. We do still put her to sleep. We're going for Swords Dance again. Golbat comes out. We're going to go for Sleep Powder on the Golbat. Oh, yeah, Golbat. And now we're going to mimic Dream Eater. Dream Eater will make it so that we can actually hit this ghost. We cannot hit this ghost with Body Slam. And that was one of the reasons why I was potentially trying to keep Mega Drain, but Mega Drain, it's a grass move and it's a poison Pokemon. They're not going to do much. So Body Slam, we get a critical, so we didn't knock it out in one go. It's okay. As long as we can put Haunter to sleep, we can hit one Dream Eater. We do set up our last Swords Dance right there, so we should be able to just one-shot the Haunter. Very good. And then we have one more Pokemon left. And, oh, I'm sorry, two more Pokemon left. Body Slam should be a one-shot on the Arbok. Very good. Gengar comes out. We're going to put him to sleep. And now we're going to go ahead and go for Dream Eater, and it should one... Oh, no, it's not going to one-shot, but it will two-shot the Gengar, make an Agatha, which is probably the one battle I was most afraid of in here, make it a pretty obsolete battle. So now we're going to go ahead and go for our battle against Lance. Dragon Trainer, I should say. The final member of the Elite Four before we have to face the champion. So we're going to go for Sleep Powder, and we're going to go for Swords Dance 1, Swords Dance 2, Swords Dance 3. Does not wake up yet. We're going to go for Body Slam, and we should use Body Slam to wipe his entire team. We could use Mimic and Mimic Hyper Beam, but I don't think it's going to be necessary. Body Slam seems to be doing just good enough to get the job done. The only one that might not one-shot is the Aerodactyl. That was the one I was most concerned about. But we don't have to worry about it. It has nothing great against us, except for maybe Wing Attack, but Wing Attack's not very powerful, so we could survive a Wing Attack easily. And we knock out the last Dragonite. We beat Lance, and now we are just one battle away from winning this whole thing. We're an hour and 12 minutes and 30-some seconds. We did a little bit of prep with rare candies, with healing and everything. So now we're going to face the champion. Now he has a little bit of a different look because he is a champion now. He's got, he's spooked himself up a little bit. So we're going to go for Sleep Powder. Now it puts us to sleep. That's awesome. So we're going to go for Sleep Powder. Now it's going for Sky Attack. I'm going to put to sleep before it can hit us with Sky Attack. It would have been detrimental. Sky Attack is a flying move where Grass type would have been super effective, and it's very powerful. So now we're fully set up, and now we should be able to sweep this entire team. One shot on the Pidgeot. Pidgeot. Sleep Powder on the Alakazam. We're going to mimic a move just in case we need it, which is Reflect. Okay, now there's a fun little strategy that I probably won't do ever with this Pokemon, but there are some Pokemon this will happen. With Rhydon, if you just spam a move that won't knock it out, it'll keep using Leer and Tail Whip, which will give you the Bad Boost glitch. So we're going to go for Body Slam. No, we're going to put it to sleep. Put it to sleep. Put it to sleep. It's going to put us to sleep. That's fun. We should just went for Body Slam. We have a full setup on... with Swords Dance. And right there we got a critical hit, so it didn't knock it out. But we do knock it out eventually. We Body Slam on... We get another critical hit. Why are we getting so many critical hits? I don't know why. But we are getting a lot of critical hits with this Pokemon. We're not very fast, so I don't know why. But we get the final knockout on the Charizard, and we beat the champion, and we're just got click, click, click. We're trying to get to that point where we get locked into the Hall of Fame. And that's what we're doing right now. It's clicking, just clicking, just clicking. Gotta get there, come on. I wish this dialogue was not this long. But in the future, I will cut out a lot of this dialogue and just go right to the computer. We get a lock-in on time, level 68, and then our time is stopped right there at 1 hour and 14 minutes and 20 seconds. Very good time, I will say. Very exciting time. So now I'll just go and talk a little bit about this playthrough. So I initially thought it was an hour and 30 minutes. About 2 years ago, I played through this Pokemon by myself, and I got done in about an hour and 35 minutes. So I thought an hour and 30 minutes was a very ambitious time, but an hour and 14 minutes is fantastic. Didn't come across a lot of mistakes with this Pokemon. We were very well prepared. The biggest crux of this one is Lorelei can be bad, but with Sleep Powder it's very useful. But Agatha's the big one. Agatha's the big one I was worried about, and we handled her pretty well. Like I said, if that early game was faster, we might get this done under an hour and 10 minutes, but that might be a playthrough for a future video. But I hope you liked the first video on this channel. I hope you enjoyed it. As usual, I hope you like, share, subscribe, and if you want more of this content, make sure you subscribe, comment. The YouTube algorithm requires engagement and requires people to interact. I know it's asking a lot, but I really appreciate it. It does help get out to more people. But that is my video. The next video I will do, I don't know if I'm going to do them every week or every other week. The next video I have will be a playthrough of Charizard with Generation 1. So, yeah, Charizard's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun playthrough. It has some huge advantages over this Pokemon. Also has some disadvantages over this Pokemon. But that's something I'll go over another day. But I want to let you guys know I appreciate you watching. And have a good one. I'll see you on the next video. Have a good one.